It's all covered in today's China Truths.
After the storm, terror begins. China's homes are falling apart. The terrifying truth of Tofu drag buildings. When the rainy season arrives, they didn't just flood streets, they drowned a decade-long illusion. Towering buildings began to buckle. Walls cracked open like eggshells. Homes turned into traps. In city after city across China, the truth was ripped bare. Behind the glossy skyline was a ticking time bomb made of cheap cement, fake steel, and systemic corruption. For years, China's real estate boom was sold as a miracle, proof of unstoppable progress. Cities mushroomed overnight, GDP soared, skyscrapers rose faster than anyone could count. But behind the speed and scale was a silent epidemic of shortcuts. Officials hungry for promotions teamed up with developers chasing quick profits. Corners were cut, safety was skipped, inspectors were paid to stay blind. And so, tofu dreg buildings were born, structures so weak they crumbled like wet tofu. The term, made infamous after the 2008 Sichuan earthquake, has become a grim label for a national disgrace. These weren't accidents, they were the product of a broken system. Across second- and third-tier cities, hospitals, schools, and apartment blocks were built with rotting rebar, sand-filled concrete, and foundations barely anchored to the earth. Even as complaints piled up, the machine kept running. Developers got rich, bureaucrats got promoted, and families moved into death traps disguised as homes. People ignored the early warnings: walls that cracked weeks after move-in, ceilings that leaked, balconies that shook in the wind. Many had no choice but to believe in the illusion. But in 2025, nature came knocking, and the illusion shattered. This year's brutal monsoon season has exposed the truth with terrifying clarity. Buildings are falling not because of the rain, but because they were never built to stand. What used to be whispered warnings are now screams of collapse. What was once brushed aside as normal wear and tear is now national disaster. China isn't facing a weather crisis. It's facing the collapse of a lie built brick by brick for over a decade. From rain to ruin, China's buildings are collapsing. What started as heavy rain is now a full-blown national emergency. But this disaster wasn't born in the clouds. It was built from the ground up, brick by corrupted brick. July 2025. Torrential downpours sweep across southern and central China. But it's not just the streets that are underwater. The truth is, too. In city after city, the rainfall didn't just expose leaks. It tore through the lies of rushed construction, cut corners, and fake stability. In Jiangxia, a 12-story apartment building split in half after 5 straight days of rain. First came the cracks, then the collapse. Half the structure folded like paper. Rubble filled the streets. Miraculously, no deaths. But hundreds now have no home. In Hunan, the roof of an elementary school, built only 8 years ago, gave way in the middle of class. Rain poured in. Parents had long complained about mold and rust. Now, they want answers. The foundation, officials admit, was compromised by missing reinforcements and failed waterproofing. Sichuan. Residents watch in horror as their walls begin to sweat, moisture leaking from within the concrete itself. Tiles are falling, balconies are bending, entire buildings have been declared unsafe. And the list is growing. Social media is exploding. Videos of tiles popping under pressure, staircases shifting, walls splitting in real time, spreading faster than the sensors can delete. In Guangdong, a man chained himself to his front door, screaming, "I worked 20 years to buy this house. Where do you want me to go now?" And in poorer towns, no inspections, no answers, just silence. Local officials label the disasters as localized structural incidents. State media is quiet. The message is clear: don't panic and don't ask questions. But behind closed doors, panic is real. A leaked government document from Guangxi warns over 2,000 buildings built between 2011 and 2019 could fail after flooding. That's just one municipality. There could be tens of thousands more. What the storms have revealed isn't just bad construction, It's a broken system. Years of bribery, GDP chasing, and silencing critics have led to this. Now the consequences are crashing down, literally. This isn't just about rain, it's about betrayal. Families believed they bought homes. What they got were ticking time bombs. Would you pour your entire life savings into a home like this? Most people wouldn't. Yet that's the heartbreaking reality for many in mainland China. Why China's buildings are falling apart. 3 explosive reasons behind the crisis. What's causing towers to split in half, schools to cave in, and families to flee their own homes in fear? It's not just the rain. It's a crisis built over years, brick by brick, with 3 deadly ingredients. 1. Speed over safety. China's race to build has turned deadly. For years, China sprinted toward growth, measuring success in square meters and GDP numbers. Local governments rushed to approve megaprojects, developers scrambled to build them fast, and no one stopped to ask, are these buildings safe? They weren't. Inspections were reduced to rubber stamps, engineering checks became afterthoughts, and in second- and third-tier cities, entire neighborhoods were constructed in just months using cheap cement, weak steel, and non-existent waterproofing. From the outside, they looked like symbols of progress. Inside, they were time bombs. Now, under the weight of relentless rain, these hidden flaws are exploding into view. 2. Tofu dreg. Construction. The rot runs deep. Tofu dreg isn't just a meme. It's the nickname for buildings so fragile they crumble like wet tofu. The problem? A web of corruption and greed. Officials and developers cut shady deals. Contracts were handed out without proper bidding. Subcontractors stacked layer upon layer, gutted safety standards to chase profit. The result? Schools, homes, and hospitals that were once praised are now falling apart. And when disaster strikes, no one takes the blame. With so many shadowy players involved, accountability disappears. Meanwhile, ordinary citizens are left living in concrete death traps, paying for their own destruction. 3. Truth suppressed. No oversight, no justice. In a healthy system, disasters spark investigations. In China, they spark censorship. When a residential tower partially collapsed in Xi'an, local media was blocked, videos deleted, and the official story blamed the weather, not the walls. Inspectors who raise concerns are silenced. Whistleblowers risk prison. And state-run media? It's as if the collapse never happened. Without truth, there's no reform. Without reform, the cycle continues. People are dying, not just from bad construction, but from a system that hides it. What's left behind? Fear, homelessness, and broken trust. This isn't just a structural crisis. It's a human one. In cities like Jiangxia, Xi'an, and Sichuan, families are pitching tents outside their own homes, too terrified to sleep under their own roofs. Elderly couples cling to each other in stairwells. Parents keep their children away from balconies that might give way at any moment. The dream of homeownership has become a waking nightmare. Many families are still paying off mortgages for apartments they can no longer live in. Banks refuse to freeze payments. The government offers no help. And so people are forced to choose, stay in a collapsing home or flee with nothing. Makeshift camps are now popping up on the edges of cities, scenes that look like natural disaster zones. But this isn't nature's wrath. This is man-made. This is the cost of ignoring truth, cutting corners, and building on lies. The collapse has begun, and it's bigger than any storm. This crisis isn't just a fluke. It's not bad luck. It's the product of a broken system, one that chose speed over safety, silence over transparency, and propaganda over protection. And now, as the rain falls harder, China's concrete empire is cracking wide open. The collapse you can't see, China's silent psychological crisis. While buildings crumble in the open, a quieter collapse is unfolding in private, inside people's minds. Behind every cracked wall and evacuated home, there's another kind of damage taking root: fear, trauma, and a slow, devastating unraveling of trust. Psychologists and grassroots aid groups are sounding the alarm. Anxiety, depression, even PTSD-like symptoms are on the rise in affected cities. Children wake up screaming from night terrors. They refuse to sleep alone. Parents describe the feeling as being haunted, not by ghosts, but by betrayal. No sirens warn of this crisis. No government report admits it's happening. When officials downplay the emotional toll, they send a chilling message to victims. That silence cuts deeper than any falling beam. It tells people they're alone, and worse, that their suffering is inconvenient. Losing faith. The real cracks are in the social contract. For decades, China's unwritten deal was clear. Stay silent. Get stability. Trade your voice for security. But what happens when even that security crumbles? From collapsed buildings to frozen bank accounts, scandals are stacking up, and people are starting to question everything. Comments on Chinese forums say it all. Even our homes are fake. If the walls fall, will the system fall with them? Even the loyal and patriotic are growing cynical. The promise is breaking, and so is the trust. A nation pulling apart. In disaster zones, a chilling pattern is emerging. People stop organizing. They stop complaining. They stop helping each other. Why? Because they no longer trust anyone. Not the government, not the developers, not even their neighbors. What's replacing cooperation is survivalism, fear, isolation. And when people believe they're truly on their own, they stop reporting cracks. They stop calling for help. Future disasters won't just be worse. They'll be invisible until it's too late. This isn't just a construction crisis, it's a collapse of belief. The visible damage, shattered windows, collapsed ceilings, buildings split in two, is just the surface. The deeper collapse is emotional, social, psychological. Belief in safety is cracking. Belief in fairness is eroding. Belief in the future is vanishing. China may still be building upward, but inward, everything is breaking.
Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.